This podcast represents the opinions of the hosts of the Laugh Cry Club and guests on the show. The content here should not be taken as medical advice and is for informational purposes only. And because each person is so unique, please consult your healthcare professional for any medical questions. While we make every effort to ensure that the information we share is accurate, we welcome any comments, suggestions, or correction of errors. Welcome back, everybody, to the Laugh Cry Club. I'm Joy.
I'm Rebecca.
I'm Chelsea, and if you are an imperfect human who laughs and cries, then this podcast is for you.
Welcome, everybody, and happy almost New Year. This is our last episode of 2025. We're so excited. We're so proud of you. We're proud of us. We are three licensed therapists. With over 20 years of experience, we are here to share all of our knowledge from over the years. So if you're new, welcome. We talk a lot about mental health and primarily want you to leave this podcast feeling better. Every episode, we start with a laugh and a cry of the week, and then our topic of the day of the week is reflecting on 2025. Chelsea, in your beautiful headband.
It's so cute. Okay, Chelsea's a reindeer.
Ears. Who is going
first?
first?
It's not mine. It's my niece's.
It's
Thank
so
you,
cute.
Sophie, for letting me borrow this. Or actually, I just stole it. Who's going to go first? It's going to be our Rebecca.
Oh,
Rebecca. I nominate you. First, I like your sweater. Second, I think you're doing your hair different today. Are you?
No,
She
I
got a haircut.
Oh, looks great. Love it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
So you're up.
Laugh. I went to a float spa over the weekend. Have you either been to a float?
Yes, love it.
I had a horrible experience, but go. I'll tell you later.
Okay. I had never been, and I was like, I need to do like all the beneficial things for my mindset, right? So I went, and for the listeners that don't know what a float spa or spot is, it's basically you get in this little it looks like an egg.
Yeah, it's like a
and
cocoon.
It's like a lot of Epsom salt in there, I'm assuming. So much like you just float, right? Like it holds you up like a mattress.
Yeah,
and
you're like weightless and you just...
Yes.
It
is
takes
like a
away
cocoon,
all of
you're
your...
right.
Yeah, it's like a cocoon. You get in and you have like no gravity. So you're just floating in space.
Yeah. There, you can choose to be with a light blue light on or like some chakra lights or in total darkness, which is what they suggest. And they suggest like no sound. But I'm like, I can't do an hour just being in there by myself. So I did the sound, and shockingly, I did it with no lights. But anyway, you're in this thing for an hour. It's a very strange experience. I'll tell you more at a later date if you want to know. The lady's like, yeah, there's this little spray bottle in here if you get salt in your eyes, and just like squirt it in your eyes. Okay, I'm in the dark. Next thing I know, like I'm getting salt in my eyes because I probably was fidgeting or something, right? I'm like, Jesus Christ, this salt really burns. And so I'm like trying to find the bottle in the dark, and I'm like squirting my eyes. And I'm like, this is like the worst spray bottle on earth. And I'm like squirting. And then I'm like opening my eyes and trying to squirt it in there like to flush the salt out because it just kept burning. And I just kept doing that. I'm like, this is not getting better. This is so terrible. And I thought about getting out and like getting a towel or something. And then I'm just like, screw this. I just undo the bottle in the dark, and I'm like just pouring it all over my eyes because the squirt bottle wasn't doing enough. So,
oh wait, I have a question. Were you afraid you were going to run out of water? Like I would have started getting like panic. Like what if I run out of water and get more salt in my eyes?
Because it wasn't a very big bottle, but luckily it was like a fresh full bottle. And I'm just like, because the squirt, when you get like terrible squirt bottles and it's like a little meh, and it's like a real good squirt. That was my laugh. Like I'm in the dark trying to get this to work, and I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to take it off and douse my eyes. So yeah, that was my laugh. I think I've had like lots of cries this week. And, and I'm not going to go into all of them, but I really think what I was upset about is this. We've talked about expectations a lot, having expectations on this podcast. We as people, I think we have conscious expectations where I go in thinking, this is going to be a great day. Like I'm going to do this thing at work. But then we have these subconscious expectations that we have 100% of the time and you cannot escape. And I feel like I've had these like subconscious expectations and I didn't even know until all of a sudden I ended up in the situation. And then something just like lets you down. And it's just like, it's really sad and I had several of those this week. It's been a very, very bizarre week of like letdowns, terrible people, or I guess
Lessons,
people doing terrible behaviors. Yeah, and it just made me think about those subconscious expectations and how much they're always there, and they just get you out of nowhere sometimes.
Yeah, I totally relate to that. Like an example sometimes is like, I don't know if, I'm sure you all have experiences at some point, but I'll never forget when I was like a young therapist expecting people to act like adults at work. And then I quickly realized that people don't act like adults all the time. I was very disappointed. I was like, what? I had this like grand expectation. And I think too, when you're a new professional, you're like trying to go in with like your best foot forward. And I'm like, people are really never leave high school. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's almost shocking, I think, what you're talking about, Rebecca. We're something you just expect it because, like, I'm talking, what I'm thinking about is just like the normal things. Like, you go to work and people are professional. You have nice service at a restaurant, you say thank you. Like, you have a caring parent who checks on you. Like, you think about these sort of like norms, and then when it doesn't happen, at least for me, it's like not anymore, but it used to be shocking to me. It used to be so jarring to me to think like, how did you not do this thing? How did you not? There's a whiplash that comes with it, which can be very painful. I don't know if you had that experience, but I've had it where it's just so painful because it seems so obvious to behave, especially with people who I love, where I'm like, this just seems so obvious to me. How did you miss this? Yeah, it's a hard one, expectations. It's one of the things that, especially as therapists, we know to let go of. We know it's a joy stealer.
Totally.
To have it. But that shit is deep.
It's so deep because you want to have the other person get it so bad, and you have to almost accept, even though you don't want to, that like, oh, this is just how it is, and I have to accept this. And it's so hard to do that. Oh, it's like one of the great lessons of life, I think, is to really reflect on that.
It's like sometimes you can be like the decent person and the kind person and like try to extend the olive branch and try to make it better, but the other people might not want to do that. They might want to escalate things, and I think that's what's hard to understand. Like, right, well, why wouldn't you want to make this better?
Like, this makes sense to me. Like, why wouldn't? And it also has a lot to do with fairness. Like, I think like that's not fair. It's like, well, life isn't fair, and
that's true.
So you know what it comes down to, listeners? We can't make other people be healthy. We can't make other people do the work.
That's the hardest.
Yes. And so the healthier you get when you're doing this work, and when I say work, I mean you're humaning and doing the best that you can, and you're taking in new information and you're creating emotional flexibility, then you can't unsee the dysfunction. And it's like you're watching another person suffer and die on the hill of righteousness and defensiveness and low functioning behavior. And it almost becomes pitiful and sad because it's just a bleeding, it's like watching a bleeding wound and somebody refuses to put on a Band-Aid. That's how I see it. It's like you refuse to do the work, and in turn you're destroying relationships. God, that's sad.
It goes back to that phrase like hurt people hurt people.
Yeah, and hurt people also heal themselves and do the work.
Yeah,
like they can. But it's true when you see somebody who's lashing out. That is their wound.
Yeah, for sure.
That is their wound. And we also can see the most loving people who've been through so much. And it's like, oh, that's the difference of doing the work and not.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, Joy, what do you got?
I have a really short laugh cry this week. I have a senior dog, JT, who's 14. And I decided that... So this is my laugh and my cry. Okay, this all just goes together because yesterday was really hard, but I also was laughing at the same time. So I decided to have a mobile groomer come to our house. I've never had this happen before. I've never had someone come to the house. I usually groom all my dogs either at my house, like in our bathtub, or I like take it to like a mobile wash, like a do-it-yourself type of thing. Okay, so you're
amazing. I'm just gonna interrupt you.
Yes.
Those are big dogs.
They're big dogs, and it's a lot of work. Like my back.
So much
75 pounds or more, I would think.
Yeah. Oh my god!
These are labs. These are all labs. Labradors. Full
and so labs. Thank you for that acknowledgement. It is a lot of work. And so I was like, okay, he's 14. He's 75 pounds, like lifting him in the tub. I'm like, I don't want to put him through that. I'm like, I've up until this point, because it's been so warm, I've been bathing him outside, and it's like super nice because like the weather's warm and they have a good time and they just run around and they can dry off really easily. Right. So I get this mobile groomer and they come over, and I was like, this will be great because then he doesn't have to like get in the car, go on a car ride, because at his age, it's just hard. Like a lot of things are harder. He doesn't love being in the car. He's always been kind of anxious in the car in the past like handful of years. So they pull up and I pass over the leash, and I was like, okay, just let me know if you need anything else. And like, here's where he gets a little anxious over A, B, and C. Well, I'm at my kitchen counter and I get a call 20 minutes later, and the groomer's like, can you come into the van? He's kind of having a hard time. And I was like, oh my God, like what's happening? So I grab a jar of peanut butter, because peanut butter is the kryptonite. If you ever have a lab, especially having issues or nervous, peanut butter is the kryptonite. So I grab a jar of peanut butter and I go into the van, and he has crapped himself in the van. I walk in. I felt, I was, how like
you felt it or you smelt it?
Actually, I didn't smell it, but she opens the van and he's trying to get out. So she has him on a leash. And so we shut the door and I'm in the van with her. And you know how like in a moment you just kind of like, I like kind of blacked out for a minute, because she's like, has your dog ever had seizures? And I'm like, no. And she's like, oh, he just like, I thought I can't, she doesn't know my dog. Right. So she's thinking he like got really lost consciousness and like lost his bowels or whatever. And what turned out was he doesn't, and I should have just known this. And this is where I was like crying after the fact. So I'm like, why did I put him through this? So basically like he made it through the bath just fine, but those blowers really scare him. He did fine when she was like doing the blow dryer on the back end, but once she got to his front, he just panicked. So he started to kind of like flail and try to get away, and he jumped off the grooming counter and then he pooped himself. And like, so immediately I just grabbed the peanut butter jar and shove it in his face, and he's like licking it, and like now he's happy and he's calm. And so she was able to finish drying him, but I was literally I was like, you know what? He's going to have the runs later with all this peanut butter, but I don't care. Like just get the drying done. So she's got the dryer, and I'm like, I'm just going to stay in here until you finish. Right. She's got the blow dryer. We're in this enclosed space. Hair is flying everywhere. It is all over my face. It's going in my mouth. It's going in my eyes. My eyes have contacts. So I'm like, and she doesn't realize that she's blowing this hair like at me, because she's trying to get it done. I have the peanut butter shoved in his nose, and I'm like, my nerves are going haywire because I'm like freaking out for him. And I was just like sitting on this dirty ass van floor with my dog. And I was like, oh, terrible. This is the funny. I was like simultaneously laughing my ass off inside and also being like, why the F did you do this? Like I'm never doing this. I'm never putting him through this again. But also I was like, we just got to get through it. Like just finish the freaking blow dry. The whole point was like really wanted to get a lot of hair off of him because he's really like blowing his coat right now. Anyway, we made it. We got out, and I like thanked the girl, and I felt like I felt so bad. She was so nice. She was like, "It's fine." She's like, "I just have had a dog like this before, and she used to have seizures, and then she would lose her bowels, so I thought that's what was happening." I was like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, now I understand why she thought he was having a seizure. She like projected her own dog onto him, but I was like, this poor guy. Like he's old. Why did I put him through the stress? So the rest of the day, my emotions were completely shot. And I was Marco Poloing our little group here, and I was like, I am so tired. Like after that whole incident, I went in the backyard, I like let him run around, like let him shake off his feelings. And then I went downstairs with my husband. My husband was watching football, and I took the dog downstairs, and I was like, I feel so bad. And like JT just like passes out and falls asleep. He's like, he's fine. He's like relaxed now, but I couldn't relax. And so it was just like in this moment where I was like, okay, I'm just going to give myself some grace here, because I felt so bad, because at his age, I don't want him dealing with any stress. Like I don't want my dogs dealing with any stress, period. Like it completely kills me. But for all the animal lovers out there, or really like, I'm like, how do you even have children? Because I can barely handle like the emotional attachment I have with my dogs. But like it took me out for the rest of the day. I had all these plans and like things I wanted to get done. I went upstairs. I sat on this like chair that we have, like this lounge chair. And I just like sat there and just had to like turn my brain off for a good half hour and like scroll on my phone and like get myself back to, I was like texting another friend. I was like, why am I like this? Like, why can't I just be normal and just be like, all right, he's fine. Like, I just completely was in shambles for the rest of the day.
Oh, gosh. It's like, that is the worst. I mean, that's the hardest, right? When you see your baby, human, fur baby in distress. Like, it's the worst for a parent. And I can understand why you felt that way. It's hard. And poor JT.
Well, he's just such a sensitive guy. Like, he's so sensitive that I was like, that's why I was kicking myself, because I was like, I should have known. Like, I should have known this would have been stressful for him. I'm like, I'm such a bad mom, and like, whatever. But I got to say, Rebecca, thank you for sharing the story about Oliver taking your crap on the vet tech. Because I was like, okay, now I feel like...
Oliver took a crap on a vet tech doing his nails once. Seriously, on them. Full on, dropped a load.
So I was like, okay. I feel like it just, like misery loves company. Misery loves company. So I was like, thank you for sharing that, because it literally made me feel so much better.
I mean, am I wrong, or is this empowering that animals, kids, babies, they just feel away and they're like, I need to shit it out, and they do. I mean,
exactly.
And their adults are walking around holding their shit.
It's true.
I can't even shit in public.
They're so
That is
constipated.
true, Chelsea. That's a great point.
I used to think about this with my kids. It's like we would smell, and then you pull back the diaper and you get shit on your fingers. It's like they didn't care. Charlie, my daughter, she's going to kill me. She refused.
I was like, don't say this.
Yeah, she wanted to potty train herself, which both of my kids do, and there's some psychology behind why that's very healthy. It gives them autonomy over their body, boundaries, la la la. Anyways, but she only wanted to potty train herself. She didn't want to poop train herself. So she would just poop in her princess underwear. She didn't give a fuck. She loved it.
Yeah.
She loved it. And I'm like, you know what? There's something about this that it's like, I'm walking around holding shit. Emotionally, physically. And these animals are like, I don't like this. I'm going to shake it out and I'm just going to shit.
That is so freaking hilarious, Chelsea. Like, we are all just backed up walking around.
That's
just
true.
like plugged up. Like, why can't we just let our emotions out? Let our bowels go?
Yeah, it's like emotional constipation.
It's so true. Chelsea, you're totally onto that. Yeah.
You're onto something that's so funny. But like at the same time, like kids and pets are so resilient. They're just so resilient. And that's what I had to remind myself. And like even today, I'm like, he's fine. But yeah, it was definitely an emotional day for me where I'm like, wow, I just really take on this like huge responsibility of like making sure they are okay at all times. And that was just like, whew, I needed to let that go.
That's being a parent.
Yeah, my girlfriend's mom says you're only as happy as your happiest child. And there's a lot to be said about that when we love big and we love hard.
Yeah.
We talked about this last week with grief. When one person's impacted, everybody's impacted. So, of course, you're impacted when your dog is struggling. And the idea that she said seizure, oh, my God, that's like terrifying.
The shit out of
so
me.
you don't just come back from that.
No.
You don't just come back, and I think that's this unrealistic expectation that we have is like, oh, well, it's fine, so I should be okay. But your brain heard the word seizure. You have an elderly dog. Rebecca's dog just died. You're gonna be throwing through a loop. And I think we don't normalize that enough because we just expect that we just jump back like nothing happened because it was fine.
No, that's so
because
true.
It was fine, but it's like it's scary.
Yeah.
So I just want to validate that because
thank you for saying
that's super scary.
Yeah, thank you for saying that because I think there's a lot of times where I'll be like, it's a dog. Like I'm like, whatever. Like I never like to call myself a dog mom because I'm like,
you are.
No, I don't. No. The reason I say that, and I have a whole thing about it.
You have 3 dogs.
Yeah, but I
Yes.
have this like weird thing about like raising a human is some work. So I never want to like compare the two because they're completely different things. So that's kind of why I always get like a little bit of an aversion to that. But I thank you for saying that because when I came back from my friend's house who lost her father, and there's just been a lot of grief around my family recently. When I got home from that, I like panic called a hospice vet because I was like, I just want someone to like lay eyes on JT to make sure he's okay. Like I'm just very knee-jerk reaction of like losing him. And I think also with what you went through, Rebecca, like all these things where I'm like, I just want someone. So that's very real. And I had to kind of sit with that because I was like late at night on, this this website for like the hospice vet that we use being like, can you come over and like just check on, you know what I mean? And so I just, thank you for that because it all that stuff that's around us really does make a difference.
Unless you're a psychopath. If you're a sociopath, a psychopath, then you don't feel shit. Or, maybe you're a narcissist, so you only care about how it affects you. So, Joy, welcome to being a healthy human who has empathy and compassion.
Yep.
Way to go. I'm glad because you're a therapist, and it'd be very concerning if you weren't. Okay, my laugh and my cry. So, I was not feeling good last week physically, I don't know. My daughter, Charlie, had something. She was fighting something. I was fighting something. And when I was pregnant with my kids, I'm not a good pregnant person. I'm very sick. I'm very skinny. I can't hold down food. I puke the entire pregnancy. I hate being pregnant. I would have had a football team of kids because I'm obsessed with kids if I was a good pregnant person.
Yeah.
But I'm not. My births are weird, everything. I have really difficult pregnancies. So I wasn't feeling good. I was feeling nauseous. I was getting like hot flash, cold flash, like on and off chills. I just was not feeling great. And so Charlie was out with her girlfriend. She came home and I'm like, oh my God, you know what I need? And if you know me, this is not me. Well, it is me because I did it. During my pregnancy, a Diet Coke from McDonald's and French fries with sweet and sour sauce and an apple. That's all I ate through my pregnancy. And I fucking hate McDonald's. If you know me, like McDonald's, like I don't take my kids through drive-through McDonald's. I think it's like, listen, if you love it, that's fine. It's not for me.
Not for you.
I just feel like I eat it and I feel terrible after, and it's like fake food. But during pregnancy, for some reason, it was a regular Coke and that thing. So I told Charlie, I'm like, I think you need to take me through McDonald's. And she's just like, what? Yeah, she's
like, who are you?
Yeah, she's like, what? And I was like, we need to go. So I'm laughing about how like the roles have reversed. Here's my daughter driving me because she has her permit. She's taking her mom who doesn't feel good. And I'm just thinking about being pregnant and thinking about how many times I went through that damn drive-thru when I was pregnant. She's taking me through and I order a Diet Coke and I order French fries. And I'm so excited because I know this is going to help me. And as we were leaving, I was like, wait, don't forget to ask for the sweet and sour sauce. So she goes, okay, we need 2 sweet and sours. And the lady goes like this. We're out of sweet and sour.
No.
Okay, this is one of the moments where it's like you don't feel good. And you're like, this is the thing that's going to fix me.
This is the only thing I want.
Okay, so then I start saying, I don't believe you're out of sweet and sour. This is McDonald's. How can it be out of... And Charlie's fucking horrified. And she's like, Mom. And I'm like, I cannot have these French fries. The only way I eat this is it's Diet Coke, French fries, sweet and sour. That's the only thing I get you.
It's a very specific combination. You cannot deviate.
And so Charlie's like side-eyeing me. And she could just take off if she wants to because she's driving. She could be an asshole. She could just take off. But she's just like looking at me as like, Mom. And the woman's looking at me. She's so fucking annoyed. And I'm like, well, what other sauces do you have? Because I don't eat other sauces here. I'm being such a bitch.
Oh, my God.
So Charlie's like, give her honey mustard. And I'm like, it's not the same. So then I start calling people. You know, you have like people who like collect
who
sauces.
Hoard the sauces. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh my God, my cousin's definitely has sauces. So then I'm calling him and he's like, I don't have any. And then every time I get a denial, which I never ended up getting sweet and sour sauce, I was so pissed. I ate them with the honey mustard. Because if you eat McDonald's, you know you have to eat it in like 0.35 seconds or
right.
It's disgusting.
It's not the same. Yeah. I mean, could you have gone to another McDonald's?
Yeah, but it was far and I didn't feel good. I was
right.
sick.
You're like, I need to get home. Yeah.
Yeah, I just needed like salt bubbles anyways. So that was
Chemicals.
my big that was my big laugh. And my kind of cry. I mean, I didn't actually cry, but I just was like so defeated, like a little kid, just like I was ready to throw a temper tantrum. And I was like pouty, like a fucking child. And I don't know if you get sick and you get.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
When I get sick, I pretend like I'm not sick. That's how I'm like, I'm not sick. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine.
You're like Monica Geller. Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
That's from Friends.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm fine. Your brain believes everything you think. Just say you're fine. But it hit me and I was not fine. I kept waking up and going back to bed. So anyways, that was it. Not a real like sobby cry. I did cry a lot. I do. The holidays are hard. It's hard having a first.
Yeah.
Wrapping presents without Steve is so hard and it just takes my breath away. But I appreciated getting a little bit sad, mad about something kind of normal, and overreacting felt kind of nice.
Yeah, it does kind of feel good sometimes. Yeah.
Well, it tells me that my grief isn't as consuming when I have a normal that wasn't normal. I was rude and I apologize, McDonald's lady. I'm pretty sure I said sorry then because I'm really good at owning up, but it's kind of a reminder that like, okay, you're getting through. Because had I been really in that grief spiral, I would have been sobbing. It would have been like, my husband died and I'm overreact. It would have been like this whole, all my grief would have come up. And instead it was like funny. And it was just a lighter. It was just because it doesn't matter. But in the moment, I really wanted that sweet and sour. Really wanted it.
I think that sounds pretty normal to me. I mean, that's the stuff of life right there, is when you're just dealing with so much, your cup overflow with emotions, that not having sweet and sour sauce is going to tip it over.
You basically wanted to take a poop in your car, but you didn't.
Right? Oh my God, I did. I just wanted to take a shit in the car.
Because you didn't have like Joy bringing sweet and sour sauce and shove it in your face. Like,
yeah. And
didn't have like the can of peanut butter.
Yeah, it's like yes, it was the peanut butter. It would have made
JT's
everything.
peanut butter was your sweet and sour.
It was kryptonite. It was my kryptonite. Oh my God, the sweet
parallels. Who knew that story in the van?
I don't know. I bet if I would have just taken a shit in the car, I would have felt better. I could have shit I was sick.
Yeah, that's all it takes, people.
Oh my God. Well, pivoting into our growth. We
certainly haven't matured this year.
Yeah, certainly have not. In fact, I think we've gotten worse. I feel like we've just gone down worse. It's Laugh Cry Club. We're raw humans just getting through. We are going to do a little pop around of what we are proud of. And I think as adults, we don't do this enough. We don't pause enough because we're so busy rushing. We're so busy trying to accomplish. We're so busy, let's get through the end of the year and then I'm going to make my New Year's resolutions next year. I'm going to dread next year. I'm going to whatever, that we don't take an opportunity to look at our growth. And growth is nonlinear. And so sometimes we're looking and we're like, where am I proud? What did I do? And you haven't even paused enough to take that in. So we're going to pause today and we're going to popcorn around and we're going to talk about talk about one thing that you're proud of, popcorn to the next person. And if you are listening, I encourage you to do this with your friends.
Yeah.
Maybe over the holidays, I encourage you to do this with your family. Take a moment to reflect. Slow down. Because growth is amazing and you are growing, I guarantee it, especially if you're listening to this podcast, you're a grower. There's nobody listening to this podcast who's just standing still, just letting life happen to them. They're aware, they're in sight, they're wanting to grow. So take a moment and do this for yourself, do it with your friends, do it with your family. This is a fun thing to do. So let's talk about something that we're proud of. And
I was like, do you want to nominate?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I want whoever feels compelled to go, I want them to go.
Yeah, I'll go. I love this idea. I want to call it like a powerful pause, actually. It's like,
ooh, a powerful pause.
Yes. Because it's like, we're intentionally making space for ourselves. And I want all of our listeners to be able to do that too. Like, you can listen to our powerful pauses and then, also do your own and share those. We'd love to hear it. But I think for me, the thing I'm proud of in 2025 is that I have been working on decreasing the amount of times I abandon myself. I never realized how much I used to abandon myself, but I made an intention in 2025, like just, I turned 50 this year, and that there were some things that I was going to intentionally do differently, and I did it. So like, for instance, how I have not at least decrease. I'm not perfect. Like it still happens at times, but I've done this by one, trying to listen to myself more, making big moves that are scary. Like I've made some big changes this year that were really scary at the time. And in the past, I may have tried to stick things out a little longer, but this time I just said, nope, this is not in alignment with me. I also started asking for what I need more from other people because I used to be, well, I'm still a recovering people pleaser. I'll admit it. And it's just like, I think when you're people pleasing, you don't ask for what you need because you're so worried about what other people think about you and how they feel about you, that I'm realizing that it's really powerful to be able to ask for what you need. And it's just respecting yourself. Like a lot of times we don't respect ourselves, and we really, I think that's something we could all probably do better about. And then changing situations that no longer serve me. I just really leaned into that. And I'm like, I trust myself 100%. I've always had my back. I look at all the past things I've done, how I've made big shifts and moves in the past. And I'm like, I know I always 100% land on my feet regardless of whatever happens. And so I just kind of took a dive into myself again, like into the deep end of the pool, and like, let's get to know you and protect that part of you. Don't abandon it. So that's my biggest thing that I'm proud of in 2025.
That's a huge one.
Yeah, it's still a work in progress for sure.
You know what?
But
we forgot a step here in the whole system is like, if I had a sticker, I would give you like a stick. Here's my High Rocks patch I'm going to give you.
Oh,
for like your congratulations.
Congratulations.
We're giving each other like, we're proud of you stickers.
I love that.
Oh my God, I have the best sticker, but it's upstairs.
That's okay. You can post it later.
I'll describe it. You know, Rebecca, I want to call something out. Every time we don't abandon ourselves, that is an act of self-love. You are growing the love that you were born worthy of, that maybe wasn't reflected back to you, that maybe over the years of being human has been stripped away. And when we don't abandon ourselves, we come back to the true essence of who we are, which is fun, which is light, which is playful, which is happy. And a little tip and trick, because you know I always have to go off script for a sec. Pay attention throughout the day how many times you abandon yourself to get approval from another person. How many times do you agree with someone else's opinion and laugh at the thing that you actually don't think is funny, which is fine. It can be polite, it can be whatever, but somebody might say something really derogatory and you feel uncomfortable, so you just lean in, or you say, oh, I don't care, when you actually do care, or pay attention throughout the day how many times you abandon yourself, because self-abandonment is seeking approval from another person, when really we grow love by unconditionally going towards, what do I need? What is of my highest, truest good? What is my highest sense of self need right now? And those are brave choices, Rebecca. Leaving situations that no longer serve you, that's the bravest. I mean, it's scary as it is scary, because we rely on humans. We're so social. We rely on that approval, that approval will kill you. It's a joy robber. It's a tip and trick. Just pay attention.
You're right.
Pay attention throughout the day. Am I saying yes when I mean no? Am I nodding yes and agreeing when I actually don't want to? Am I taking on this project that I don't want to do because I want the kudos, I want the accolades? Am I, how many times a day are you abandoning yourself? If you do this for a day, you're going to be like shocked. We do it all day. And it's inauthentic. And I'm not saying you need to get in a fight or you need to I want you just to pay attention, see what happens.
That's something that comes to mind is like the social, it's like the bandwagon effect or like conformity, or I always think of social psychology in these instances. And it's one of my favorite classes I still remember from college. I love social psychology because it's like social proof is the tendency to see other actions as correct, especially when you're uncertain, to like guide your behavior. So like one of the examples my professor told me, this is so cool, like that you can remember. It was so impactful that you remember it to this day. But the professor was talking about, you see the situation all the time, every single one of you. I know that you've done this where you're standing at a crosswalk with a crowd of people. Like maybe you're in Vegas, maybe you're somewhere in New York City where you're like at a big crosswalk, tons of people, and one person goes, everybody goes. Even if you're not looking at the light to see if it's red, green, yellow, whatever. And that is that like bandwagon social influence theory where everyone is just going off of that one cue because God forbid you don't do what one person's doing. You don't want to look like the odd person out, you know? And that makes me think so much, Rebecca, of like when we abandon ourselves too, is like, it can go with people pleasing. It can be like, I don't want to be standing out where everyone's going this way and I want to go this way. It's just like, yeah, it's such a helpful thing for yourself, but also for others to do that self-love.
I am most proud of this year staying present. I stayed present during the hardest times of my life. I stayed present for 9 weeks in a hospital with my late husband. I continued to find joy and gratitude because I was present, like connecting with the doctors and the staff and even the house cleaner and bringing presents to the workers to say thank you and leaning in and crying with random strangers in the elevator. I was present during the times where Steve, that's my late husband, almost died several times where I just sat in bed with him, holding his hands, having him look at me, helping him breathe through as they did emergency services. And I was radically present, walking him through the end of his life. And I'm so proud that I held on and I kept seeing the beauty and I kept keeping my heart open when it was so painful. It was just the most painful thing I've ever gone through. And after he died, I really wanted to shut down, and I did shut down. I started having panic attacks and couldn't grocery shop, couldn't anything, and then decided to do my yeses. And that was radically committing to being present. So the first yes, if you were a listener, was going to France with my sister 2 weeks after my husband died. And I've continued to say yes. I have continued to radically lean in and be present, feeling joy, feeling sadness, feeling grief, feeling suffocated, feeling strangled, managing to find so much joy and beauty throughout it that I would have missed had I numbed out, had I self-medicated, had I just stayed in bed and tried to sleep it off, had I not honored my process. And I radically honored my process by being present. And that is something that has been a lifeline that in the past I don't know that I would have been able to do. And something that I am radically committed to holding on to as I go forward with my life, staying present. So that is my most, oh my God, if like, you know how you're going to cry and you get like your forehead starts, that's how it feels right now. Like I'm really proud of myself. I'm really proud of myself, and I'm so proud of my family. And
yeah. You should be so proud of yourself and your family. Mm-hmm. You guys have just gone through it and not tried to numb it, not tried to avoid it. That is the bravest thing anyone can do.
Yeah, and I'm so proud of us, and I'm so grateful. I'm just so grateful for everybody who supported us and who followed us on that journey, because I don't believe that we would have been able to do it as well. I know that without the love and support, and that meant being really radically vulnerable and open, which was hard in a different way too. But it's just like, it's like this combination of like proud and gratitude. And I know that my husband's looking down and he's like, you did good, babe. You did good.
Yeah, completely. I also feel like you gave yourself a gift, your family too. You know, you all gave yourselves a gift. And I don't think, when people think about being present, especially through grief, I don't think people think of it as a gift. But it really is, because it's such a hard thing to do. Like, it's a gift to that person. It's a gift. It was a gift to Steve. It's a gift to you all. It was a gift, the staff at the hospital watching it. It was such a beautiful gift to give.
I feel that. I feel that it was, I always say that explosions there's so much beauty in that messiness if you can just lean in. If you can ride that tsunami wave and not fight it, maybe you don't drown. Maybe you come out and you rebuild, and rebuilding is actually really beautiful. It's painful, but it's very beautiful.
Yeah, it's very much like you're talking about, like kind of floating on that wave. Of life, we have really big crashing waves that just rip us apart. But you always come back to the surface, always. It's just part of the process, and you being so present during that is, I don't know, I just really admire you for for doing that and what you teach everybody that hears your voice.
It reminds me of when you were talking, Rebecca, about like if not letting it drown you. There's this visual that I heard this speaker reference where it's like, if you think of a cork floating in the ocean, we are the cork and we have to stay kind of like above water, like looking around and being like kind of in alignment with our feelings and recognizing them. But if you don't, you're pulling yourself underwater. And it's like you're kind of fighting against it and pushing yourself down and you're like, can't breathe. And while sometimes our feelings do feel like we're going to succumb to them, keeping our cork floating, so to speak, and facing life and going towards the feelings is ultimately like what brings the beauty. And I think that's just so, I say this also as someone who struggles with it too, which it's like, that is, I think, one of the great lessons of life.
Joy.
One of the big lessons that I am really proud of is, and I've talked about it a little bit this year, is to not self-sabotage. Last year I was in a really bad mental space. I think recognizing the signs of perimenopause and like hormones and really trying to dive in to figure out what was going on with me was a huge step of self-care and bravery that I think that I'm very proud of, that I wasn't like just trying to white knuckle through it. So that definitely played a part in it, because my emotions very much drive how I feel about myself, how I think about myself. Of course, that's kind of stating the obvious, but it was really, really bad. And I have a tendency to gaslight and be like, you're fine, white knuckle it, Gen X, blah, you know? And so this year was really a good lesson in getting my health in order and being very mindful and intentional about keeping my health at the forefront. And I cut out alcohol a couple months ago, and that has been huge for me in my mood and my overall health. But it has helped then to parlay into really being in a good mental state, to not self-sabotage, to like let myself feel joy and let myself believe in things and let myself be happy, and not have like the second thought right after that be like, well, it doesn't last long, don't get too excited, you know? So like that's a huge lesson that I think I really learned in real time on the podcast, where we were kind of talking about some things. And I was like, yeah, I need to stop doing that. And I'm very proud that that has been something I've been really consistent with. Like if I set a goal for myself where I'm like, you got to do this, I'm good at sticking with it. And so far it's been working well for me. So I'm excited about that.
You've done really good, Joy. You have done really, really good. I'm thinking back to several episodes ago where you had a win and you were like, okay, then I was waiting for the other thing. And I was like, nope, not going to do that. Just going to see what's going to happen. You've done really good with that curiosity of like, feel the feelings, feel disappointment, feeling whatever, and then surrender. I want to say it like this, surrendering to what could be better. We get disappointed and then we go into this hole when really, Joy, what I've witnessed with you is you feel disappointed, you share the disappointment, you feel your feelings, and then you're like, okay, now let me look up to what could be better about not knowing what's next, really. It's almost like you're allowing things to rule in and rule out naturally rather than the anxiety of holding on to control and then plummeting. That's what I've witnessed with you, which has been really awesome, by the way.
Yeah, it feels really good. It feels really good.
Definitely. I feel like you've always probably been somebody that leans in, but you're leaning in and staying leaned in and just like almost in holding hands with it.
You know, this has been, I have to say this as a practice, what we've just done feels really cool. I would love for listeners to do this, to also do it with friends, because hearing each other reflect back is really cool. Like you validating for me that you've seen that growth. Us validating for Rebecca, us validating for Chelsea, that we've seen this and we have been witness to that is a really special thing I don't think we talk about enough with our friend groups. To be like, I see you, you've done this. Like have your friends validate for you and like maybe reflect, hey, you know what? A lot of people like to go to brunch on New Year's Day. Go to brunch. That's your New Year's activities. Like, let's reflect. And I want you to tell me what here's what I'm proud of. Tell me if I'm right. Like, tell me the things that you've seen me grow in. I think that's such a cool practice. It feels really good.
I love it. And two, you grow alongside the people who you love. These are healthy relationships. Healthy relationships are like, I always say, when one person wins, I win too. I want to know all my friends' wins. I want to know where everybody's doing well. And I also love the holding each other accountable. So many times where we want to check out, where we don't want to check in, and you have your friend who gently reminds you that you can. you can do it. Yeah, do it with your friends. Have a
Yeah.
mimosa maybe,
Yep.
or a
Let them-
mocktail,
Let them be
or
a witness.
copious amounts of sugar.
Yep.
True.
Yes. Okay, we have a shout out, Rebecca.
Yeah, I just want to remind listeners that you can find us on all the socials at the Laugh Cry Club podcast. We're on TikTok, Instagram. You can message us there. You can also send us an email at laughcryclub@gmail.com. And one of our wonderful listeners, Judy from the UK, sent us a really wonderful message. It was so nice to hear your kind words, and we really appreciate you reaching out and sharing an awesome pic of how she listens to the Laugh Cry Club podcast and on her morning walk with her baby and her dog, which looks like to me is probably a lab. So there's a connection potentially there with Joy's labs too. But thanks so much for reaching out. And anybody else, we'd love to hear your stories. How do you listen to the podcast? And ask us questions, leave us comments. We're here for it.
Yeah, we love you so
It was
much.
awesome.
It
Yeah.
was so awesome. That means so much to us. We started this podcast for that reason, and we just hope that you leave every episode feeling a little bit better with some tool, and know that you're in a large community of a great club where if you're feeling something and you feel like you're the only one, I promise you're not. We are all in this together. So thank you for spending time with us. Happy New Year.
Yes.
We hope it's beautiful and magical, and whatever comes up, we can face it, and we can do the hard things, the easy things, and everything in between. So we love you guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you in 2026.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And hey, we're going to live big next year. So tune in, because living big also means feeling your feelings. So we're going to help you do both.
Get ready.
Can't wait.
Giddy up.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
That's life, baby.